Guys, my name is Asanda Kati and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this, then this means that you're interested in figuring out or learning how to make money on Facebook. And as somebody that's been making money on Facebook for over a year but has just started taking it seriously from from 2 months back. I have got a list of strategies on how to teach you how to do the exact same thing and make an income while you're sitting at home. Okay guys, so this is basically the money I have made on Facebook. It's not really a significant amount. As I've said, I've just started taking it seriously about 2 months ago, because usually at the beginning of the year, when I got accepted or got invited into the monetization platform, I wasn't really sold on it. I felt like it was probably just a thing for the time being. But after a while of me earning Labo 500 school Facebook, I started seeing okay, there's actually potential to make more, and seeing other influencers making up to 100,000 Rand a month from Facebook. I was like, let me take it seriously. And now I'm making more than 1,000 Rand on Facebook. I don't make much yet because I just started taking it seriously, but I have a list of strategies that I have been implementing that have been working for me that I think can work for you too. Not that I think they will work, because that's exactly what I have been doing to grow my following and to get invited to the content monetization program that not everybody is eligible to meet, right? There are so many influencers that have so much more followers than me that are not even invited to the platform because they don't understand the fundamentals of what Facebook needs from you as a creator. And that's what I want to break down right here, right now. What you can do to basically make the cut, meet the criteria that you need in order to earn, and so you can start earning too. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so the first thing you need to do in order to obviously start earning is to grow your audience. It's imperative for you to grow your audience, not necessarily as far as followers are concerned, but more so engagement, or actually both, because followers do play a role. In order for you to be eligible for the monetization program, you need to have over 10,000 followers and you need to have over 100,000 engagement. And engagement basically means people commenting on your posts and people interacting with your posts, whether they're liking, sharing, commenting. It means they're interacting, so that's engagement. So you need to have over 100,000 engagement, and you need to basically have over 10,000 followers in order for you to be eligible. And in order for you to grow your audience, it's incredibly important, guys. Facebook rewards authenticity. That's one thing I've noticed with my posts, is that if I post something that other influencers are posting or other content creators within my niche are posting, I get less money irrespective of the reach that it gets. But if I write something that's authentic, Facebook rewards that. So it's incredibly important for you to be as authentic as possible on Facebook. So what does authenticity mean? Authenticity means writing exactly what you think. It means being raw, it means being unfiltered, and it means just being true to yourself. What that does is it introduces you to your group, it introduces you to your people. It's incredibly important for you to be yourself. Be yourself, and that is how you will grow your audience faster, by being yourself. Just on a daily basis, consistently post. Just post the most random things, whatever you have on your mind. Just post. Don't overthink it. Don't over-curate it. Whatever comes first in your mind, just post it. What this does is it will show you what your audience wants to see, right? So if you consistently post for a month, just post ambiguously, post anything, post whatever is on your mind. Don't overthink. If you're thinking about something in your mind, just post it, no matter how uncomfortable or cringe or how embarrassing you feel it is. If it's a reflection of who you are, what you're thinking, just post it, right? Post it, and the more you post, the more you see the type of content people actually engage in. For example, let's say today I post about apples. Let's say tomorrow I post about green beans. Let's say on the third day I post about bananas. Those are different posts, right? And basically, the reason why I'm posting about different things is basically me showing different elements of my character and seeing which post people engage with the most. If they don't engage with the apples post, and they engage more on the green beans post, that means that my audience wants to see content that is in relation to green beans, right? So green beans is just an example. Remember, it's just an example. It's not something set in stone. It's just an example. So if people engage more with posts that I do about green beans, what that means essentially is that I need to center the foundation of my post needs to be needs to be about green beans. Now, what I can do is now figure out different ways to talk about green beans. That's essentially how you find your niche. That's what niching down means. It means talking about different things, posting about different things until you find one that sticks, and one that sticks will be the one that people engage with the most, people talk about the most, people comment on the most, people that like the most, like the post that people engage with the most. Remember, engagements are comments, likes, and shares. So when people engage with that post more, it means that that's the type of post that people want to see from you. So the more you post about it, but post about it in different ways, the foundation is the niche. Right? The foundation is the niche, and the different ways in which you talk about those green beans, you know, because you already have a target audience that relates to that or wants to see that, it's going to be easier for you to grow from there. So now people already know, okay, this person talks about green beans, I like green beans. The next time you probably talk about, like, where did I buy green beans, the best places to go to get green beans, fresh green beans, and like what people don't like about green beans, the health side effects, the benefits, all of those things. And guys, I'm just making green beans as an example. I'm just trying to say that what people engage with the most, you need to figure out ways to duplicate it, but duplicate it in different ways, because you already know that that's what your target audience wants. For example, Beyonce is a neo-soul artist, like an R&B pop neo-soul artist. She's an alternative artist, meaning that she can sing about a plethora of things in different ways and in different genres. But ultimately, the foundation of her music is women empowerment, right? It's women empowerment and love. Women empowerment and love. So all of her music, no matter what genre she sings in, however, the music will be centered around women empowerment, love, and things of that nature, because that is what people want to hear from her. That is what her target audience relates to. So you find different ways to basically communicate the same message, and then that's how you find your niche, right? That's how you basically find your niche. And secondly, what you need to obviously do is like consistently do that, like consistently figure out different ways to talk about that whatever it is your niche is, different ways to communicate that message, right? And secondly, another thing that will really help you is, if once you've figured out your niche, it's incredibly important for you to join groups that incorporate that niche, right? So as I was saying, I'm going to make an example using Beyonce, because I feel like green beans, it doesn't stick. I'll make an example using Beyonce. For example, if I was Beyonce's marketing team and I was on Facebook, I would then go on Facebook, and Facebook has like millions of groups, right? I would specifically join groups that have to do with women empowerment. Join groups that have to do with love and relationships. Join groups that already have to do with my niche topic, so that when I share my posts on those groups, that's guaranteed engagement, right? That's guaranteed engagement, because people on those groups are already interested in what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already interested in what you have to say. So the only thing you need to do now is share your information to that group. So the more you consistently share that information to that group, people from that group are more likely to go to your account, follow your account, and engage with your post, because really you're talking about something that they want to hear about, right? So it's really just that, finding your niche. And the only way to find your niche is by posting consistently and being as authentic as possible, number one. Number two is joining groups. Incredibly important to join as many groups as possible that already have to do with your niche, right? And then thirdly, it's very, like, number three is the most important for me. Like, stop abantu bazothini syndrome. Like, who cares what people say about you on Facebook? Like, who even cares? Stop abantu bazothini syndrome and just post. No matter how cringe it is, no matter how embarrassing it is, post. Because let me tell you something, these posts that are very cringy and embarrassing, those are the posts that people engage with the most. The posts where you are more like curated and perfectionist, like, people don't care about those posts, because people want to talk about something. People always want to say something, and people respond more on negative things than they do on positive things. Hence why it's good to either have a balance, or it's good for you to basically be as raw as possible. Just be as raw as possible. People like that. People don't like perfection because they already see it too much on TV, and people don't like things that make them feel bad about themselves. So if you put people on a higher moral ground, they will feel compelled to correcting you. They will feel compelled to coming to your feed and basically, either telling you what the right thing to do is, or telling you, basically they will feel more compelled to engaging because they feel like they're on a higher moral ground than you, and they feel like you are beneath them. So the more they actually engage with you, the more Facebook actually sees it was, okay, people are engaging with her, meaning if you invite her to our monetization program, she would perform even higher because she knows she's going to get incentivized. Because what Facebook does, Facebook sees what other social media platforms are doing, are basically taking more of their users, right? Less people are using Facebook on 2025 than they were when it first came out. So Facebook is trying to figure out creative ways to keep people on their platform. So if you are an influencer that literally brings people on your feed and keeps people longer on Facebook, so Facebook can run ads on your feed, Facebook will pay you. It will pay you because you are keeping people here for a long amount of time. And the more people are on Facebook, the more money Facebook makes, because the more ads that they can run. Advertisers pay social media platforms to advertise for them for a fee, right? So the more people are on your feed or on your page or reading your posts, and the more they're engaging, the more Facebook incentivizes you and pays you, because ultimately you're bringing people on their platform, and the more people are on their platform, the more they can make out of advertisements. So it's incredibly important, guys, for you to basically get as many engagers as possible on your feed, right? And the more you do that, I promise you, the faster you can grow your followers, your engagement, and actually qualify for content monetization. All right. And also, lastly, the fourth one is collaborating with influencers. Collaborating with influencers that have already made it or are already getting paid on Facebook will help you, will benefit you, because it will obviously expose you to a bigger target market. A lot of more people will see you that are already on their feed. And secondly, you can always collaborate with them in future. It's always good to have a support system of people that are already doing what you want to do around you, so that you have somebody to ask when you have questions. So collaborating with influencers is really beneficial to you. You need to look at it as an investment, because what I used to do, I used to pay Uledi Londi 100 Rand to share my posts on her feed, and she has like over 300,000 people on her feed. 300,000 people, 500,000 people on her feed. 500,000 people used to see my page. 500,000 people, and I only used to pay 100 Rand. So it exposed me more to people and really just got me more engagement, right? And my engagement is growing very slowly. My engagement grows very slowly. I don't know why. Other people's engagements grow like rapidly. I think maybe because my posts are just more like for geniuses, or people like that are really smart, and not everyone is smart. So I grow pretty slowly, so yeah. But other people that just make posts that are not that serious, that are just more relatable, they grow faster. And who's to say that you can't do that? So yeah, like collaborating with other influencers. Look at your Facebook page as an investment, because ultimately it is an investment. Because if you invest in your Facebook page, at the end it might even end up paying you. So it's like a business. You just need to invest in your Facebook page by collaborating with other influencers. Don't be afraid to pay influencers to basically share your posts. Influencers vary, like the payment varies. You can just inbox them, ask for their fees, and take it from there. Email them, or even negotiate with them a fair price, and they share your posts on their feed, which exposes you to hundreds and thousands of other people, and ultimately brings you closer to meeting your targets on Facebook, right? Okay, guys, this is step A of my free mentorship program. Well, it's not free because you need to subscribe to get the information, but I'm saying we'll see. I don't know why I said free. That was weird, because you do have to pay for it. But that is step A. Tomorrow I will basically shoot step 2. I just want you guys to basically start doing step A, and then step 2 I will be breaking down how Facebook pays you, like the different methods in which you can get paid on Facebook. And what else? Oh, another way to monetize your influence without you getting paid directly via Facebook, because you can also monetize your page without you actually working for Facebook. Do you understand? Like selling digital products. And like I want to teach you guys how to identify the type of digital product that you can make, and also the apps that you can use to make it, like to make it faster, you know, like to make it within a matter of hours than days. And then once you, because I long story, I've got a lot to unpack. But ultimately, I have been a digital entrepreneur for the past 5 years, meaning I've been making money online on various social media platforms, on Facebook, but more so on Facebook and on WhatsApp and things of that nature. So I've got a lot to share, but right now I'm specifically focusing on Facebook. So if you want to be privy to my whole course, please do subscribe, guys. It's only $10, if not $5. I'll probably make it $5. I'm gonna be fair. I'll make it $5. Just subscribe and let's grow. Let's grow together. Why be broke when you can make money from home? That's what I'm saying. But anyway, thank you guys for watching till this far. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.